Good morning. It is Sunday, October 10th. And I don't really know what I got going on today. I haven't thought that far ahead. But for this morning, at the very least, I'm headed to church.
I believe in the power of Jesus, who washes white as snow. I believe in the power of the gospel, still makes the broken whole. I believe that the curse of sin was broken when they rolled away that stone. I believe.
Just got out of church. We had someone talking about some of what God's been doing with some of the churches we partner with in India. Some cool to hear some of what God's doing. Going out to lunch with Mom and Mike afterwards, going to Texas Roadhouse because it's convenient. That was more than enough food between the salad and then they got the onion blossom and the burger and the fries. I couldn't eat it all, and the bread. Good meal though. One of the reasons I told them, hey, let's go there, was because it is close to the Home Depot. That's what it says behind that tree. And I have a little sketch of an idea. Building a platform on which I can support the conference camera for on the ceiling to capture the table when gaming. And I just want to, probably not going to actually get the parts I need today, but just trying to figure out what I need to make it real. Just trying to figure it out. So I'm going to the Home Depot, going to see what I can figure out. And if I want to be able to move it a bit, I'm thinking a track lighting kit might be a good track to slide it along, maybe. Although, while it says you can customize it and buy bits separately, here at least I'm only seeing the kits that are really expensive. Whereas I would want to get just the track so I don't have to pay for the lights, since I don't need the lights. And I was thinking for the platform that it actually sits on, I might have to do like wood or something, but obviously that's a bit bulky, not ideal. They do have what are apparently 1 foot by 1 foot, so I can find a way to, I guess there's ways to cut it down. Put like a little steel plate I could put a hole put in it for where the actual mount. I don't know, maybe just other options as I'm exploring options. That's all I'm doing. And I had some thoughts of maybe like metal construction for the actual frame, like that's holding it up. But I was thinking, okay, so I get like metal strips and have to have it bend to, like they have just pre-made little like strips or tees or corners that have a couple holes in them for corner braces, mending plates. I might be able to just secure something together with those. Kind of looking at, and you know, you got a few different ones here, some flat things, the tees down there. Again, I need to make a platform with some sort of supports that go above it to mount into the ceiling or possibly into something on the ceiling or a track that'll let me move it, one or the other. But these are what I was thinking of as far as metals that I would get and have to bend to the right shape, which may still be the best way to go. But at least I have other options that require less tool work with tools that I do not have. So but this is what I knew they'd have somewhere in here. And they got lots of options. Angles, flats, C-channels, squares. Okay, possible idea. So I found this sort of corner setup. Once I got to the lumber section, it's like on the side. So, angle, holes drilled in it, making it easier on me. I can take this and it's easier to unbend an angle a bit than to bend a new angle. So I can get say one of these and bend it open where it goes at the angle I want, and another one where I bend it up where it can be the bottom half. I can connect them side to side with these, use one of these to extend the length of the one that I'm making the lower portion. That's as far as my brain's got. Maybe like use a T-brace to make more of a flat surface in the base. But yeah, I got things like that. T angles of different sizes. Still don't know. And they have tools like this for bending and flattening sheet metal. I think that's what I would need to bend it. Yeah, I'm not buying things today. So, I mean, there are options there. I'm at the point now I don't think that I need to have wood involved in the construction, or I wasn't confident that was going to be the case when I started, so I've at least gotten to that point. And I mean, I can make something. Wouldn't be pretty, wouldn't be cheap, and it would be a fair bit of work. And I'd rather at least get one of those. If it's not pretty and not cheap, then I don't want to have to put all that much work into it. If it's a lot of work, I want it to either be pretty or cheap. I may check out something like Bernard's someday. Continue to keep an eye out for possible solutions online. But just coming up with ideas for how I'd be able to get something put together. I'd like to get that camera mounted in the ceiling, 30 degrees facing downward, to capture the game table at some point. So I get home and I get out a piece of paper to kind of write down, draw out the idea that I had to come up with. And as I'm doing so, I come up with a better one. Oh well. Oh, it's fun that I didn't get anything for it. Anyways, the idea kind of combines what I kind of thought before and something new. So if I get the small L brackets to just go into the ceiling, and the big L brackets, and I said like bend 130 degrees out, 130 degrees in, and then instead of connecting them with metal all around, get like wood to connect them together, and then also make a wood platform to go at the base. Because the difference is, as far as like the metal, the holes didn't match. There were pre-made holes in the metal, and they're brackets that are designed for like putting together like the studs and walls and that kind of thing. But like they didn't line up with each other because they weren't meant to go connect to each other. They were meant to connect to wood in the walls. If I do wood, then I can just put the hole in the wood where I need, because that I can get a new hole in easily where I need it. And for like the brackets, maybe something, I don't know, similar to like paint and stir sticks or something to connect the height, and then like the thin plywood for a base, which I think Mike said he had some thin plywood, so I wouldn't want to buy that. And I'll have to see if he has the tools to bend open the brackets like I need, because otherwise that'll double the cost, getting that tool that I found to be able to bend those. So, well, I got an idea. I went out and I got an idea, and since getting that camera, I've been thinking, gee, I need to figure out how I'm going to do this. So I made a step. And this design does not have the track. Kind of my thought with it is this design is set up in a way that if at a future date I want to add the track, I could add the track to it. But I probably don't need the track. The idea with the track is that it can move back and forth along here, but most likely if I'm just careful the first time and line things up and get it where I need it, I probably will never move it once I have it where I need it. It just means that I have to be awkward up there getting it where I need it the first time, because it doesn't move from there. So at home, I recorded another couple episodes of Skyward Sword. Just 2, and I think it's just gonna be 2 today, because it's hurting my voice. And this morning, like, I was thinking, like, when I got to church, like, oh, I didn't even think to grab a lozenge, because, you know, sometimes, like, it's good to have that. I will certainly sing my heart out in worship, and so sometimes I'm like, oh, I need a, but I mean, my throat's been doing so great, that didn't cross my mind, and I was fine. But playing this game, I'm in the Earth Temple, and there's these, like, mole creatures, and the way the dialogue is written, and some of this, and I influence some of the way I talk into accents based on the little sound effect that the creature gives, like when saying this is this creature talking. Anyways, they're like these gangster mole creatures, and so they got an accent that sounds kind of like this, and they talk all, you know, but it's a voice that comes from the back of my throat, and so it's irritating it, and I'm now like wanting to cough, and it's itchy and scratchy and not a good feeling. So a couple episodes, and it's not like they're talking the whole time. I'm just running across them as I go through. But I only do a couple episodes at a time right now. But whatever, I guess I'm in the temple, so once I finish the temple, I'll move on to another area, and then I probably won't see them, at least for quite a while. So oh well. Got a couple of episodes recorded. That gets me a little bit further into next month. And there went my evening. Whoops. Okay. So I sat down and I was gonna just copy some dialogue that I'm quoting for Austin's character in the Order of Heroes game. The whatever. Mutants and Masterminds. I've kind of known what I'm doing with it for a while. Pretty much since he came up with his character concept. I was like, let's write that down. I sat down to do that. But like, this is a little bit into his story. Let's take a step back and just like start it from the beginning so it's in order on my page. And that led to, you know, a little research into African deserts, mid-90s transportation options, opulent estates in the United Kingdom. You know, just you know, things that you end up having to look up. As I did 2 double-sided pages of notes going through, like, his introductory arc. Not fully getting his character to where he starts. I still got stuff to do for that, but at least getting him to the point where he has all his powers and all that, like that thing. And there's a few points where he gets to make some choices. Like I have a whole page written here, and I might get to line 3, and depending on what he says, I might then skip to page 4. And there's several other times on there where, depending on what he does, I can just skip the rest of the page. And there's a few other things. There's a few notes where it's like, oh, well, he gets to make a check here, and depending on what happens, either you know, reference paragraph A or reference paragraph B. Lots of planning, because I have to be prepared where no matter what choice he goes, he gets to the end result of being his character. So it's definitely an illusion of choice, but the way that he gets there is up to him. You know, what he goes through to get to that. But eventually he's going to end up being the character that he made, because that's the character he made. You know, that wouldn't be any fun not to get him to that point. So, and that's kind of the way these, you know, origin stories have worked, is it, with each one. Anyway, so I got all that figured. But it took like 3 hours. 3 hours of sitting here writing notes, thinking, doing some research. But, and it's not quite enough for session 1, but it's close. Probably another page or two. And partially because for the last bit of it, I need to start going into what the couple of arcs could be. It's definitely possible that at a certain point, Bob's character will get involved again. But depending on what goes on, it may not. I'm going to give it some options. His story might really just be him, the entire thing, so that'd be fine too. Otherwise, it is now quite late. I'm gonna heat up some buffalo chicken dip to have a bite to eat, and then go to bed. Ready for the work week ahead, I suppose. Thank you for joining me, and join me as my journey continues.